Hi guys, and welcome to Watch Me Build It. I am so excited today. I can't believe the timing. Today is the first birthday of I Like Watches. And today, I Like Watches Exciton limited edition 1 in 100 watch has arrived on my doorstep. So today, Watch Me Build It will be paying a tribute with an espresso, Gary. We don't do tea over here. With an espresso to I Like Watches, to your first year, to an epic year. I don't know that you could have had more highs and more lows and more comebacks than you have staged this year. So today is a tribute to you, my friend. Thank you for the contribution that you have made to the online watch world, and let's get into this amazing creation. Let's flip the camera, see what's going on. But before we do, let's do the intro my way. Yeah boy, yeah boy, yeah boy. Welcome back to Watch Me Build It. Alright, so here we go. The unboxing of the Exciton. Delivered by FedEx. Maxi posted this on the 24th of December. It was shipped on the 25th of December, Christmas Day. And it has arrived with me in South Africa on New Year's Eve. So we're looking at less than a week's delivery from China to South Africa by Maxi. That's part of his normal delivery costs. I think he charges about $30 for the expedited shipping. There we go. It's come all well protected.
We'll try and speed that up a bit. That's going to speed all of this up right now.
Another tribute to another watch filming legend over there. And I hadn't opened the box properly. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What does the Exciton look like? What does it look like, ladies and gentlemen? I don't think I have received a new watch in my life that I've been so familiar with, because this has been marketed so very, very well by Gary and by James. But that is the Exciton watch. I will peel off the stickers and we'll do as rapid a review as possible. There it is, folks. The Exciton. Exciton Skin Diver by JF Watches. Looking amazing. Stats and specifications, just as we take a look around the watch. The watch is 38 mils wide, only 10.7 mils thick. Now, Gary's stated thickness is 12.4, but it's actually 10.7 mil thick. A lug to lug of 43 millimeters, and a total watch length of 43 millimeters, because of course the strap doesn't protrude at all whatsoever. A lug width of 20 mils, drilled lug holes, a stainless steel case with brushed surfaces all round. That was a very deliberate choice because the watch is designed by a scientist. Reflective surfaces are not something that he appreciates. We've got a 120 click bezel, which I have not even clicked yet. So would you like to click it with me? It's the first time I'm clicking this bezel. That is a really, really solid bezel. Backplay, none to speak of. A really, really solid bezel. I hope you can hear that nicely over there. Let me bring it a bit closer to the microphone. Great bezel, which aligns perfectly. It's running a Miyota 9015 movement, which ticks at 8 ticks per second, 28,800 beats per hour. It has a 42-hour power reserve with a stated accuracy of between 10 and 30 seconds per day. So there we go, folks. That is the Exciton watch in all of its splendor. Right, now for my review. How do we do our reviews over here? We do them outside in. We begin with the buckle and the strap, and then we work our way in towards the heart of the movement. buckle and strap. I begin with the buckle. It's a really nice brushed steel buckle. The edges are a little sharp isn't the word, but I suppose they could be a bit more flesh friendly. But that's really about the only criticism I can give you on the buckle. It's a standard buckle. There's no branding on it. And I know particularly the guys were putting the quality into the head of the watch, and so the waffled strap was as good as they could do for as little money as they could do, I think. So the buckle, I'm going to be giving, out of a possible 7.5, I'll be giving that a 4. The bracelet is a waffle, or the strap is a waffled strap. I've had a waffled strap on a Dan Henry that I owned, and I've got to say this one is better. It's a really nice feeling rubber. It's got a good thickness to it. It's a 20mm at the lug, and it tapers down to 18mm at the end. Beautiful relief over there, a nice texture on this. I found the only QC issues I found on this watch were on the strap. Can you see how those holes, 3 of them still have the little rubber press outs stuck in them? Easily solved. I'll simply push the tang of the buckle through there and they will be removed, but that's about the only QC issue that I've identified on the entire watch. The strap is really neither here nor there. I don't think that would be a surprise to Gary either. So the strap is only getting a 3.5 out of 7.5. When I consider what you can do on a bracelet on a watch, this strap is pretty much there to hold it on the wrist in this particular instance. Caseback. This has to be one of the most unique cases in watchmaking history. I love it. There is a graph which I do not understand, but I believe it has something to do with an exciton, and an exciton is an element of an atom at some level. I know nothing about these things. There's a little equation beneath that graph that has something to do with kilojoules per moles, and then there are nice conversions of kilos, meters, liters and kilograms, and then very handy that 25 degrees centigrade is 298 Kelvin or 77 degrees Fahrenheit. And then of course the part I like the most, number 63 of 100. Other than that, it's a bog standard Caseback, very high gloss. I want to have a look and see if we can find them, but I seem to have scratched it already. So I love the creativity on the Caseback. I love the fact that its orientation is almost plumb, except for the fact that it's upside down. So I don't know what needs to be done in watchmaking to get a fastened Caseback to have its graphic in exactly the 12 o'clock position. But in terms of the Caseback, I'm going to give it a 2.5. It's nothing extra special, but it's also not as bland as potatoes. So I think it's a creative Caseback, and I've enjoyed it. Case and bezel. We're beginning with a crown. That is a beautiful crown with an etched relief of the JF logo. Coming onto the case, what struck me about this case is it is very much what you'd expect an engineer to design. Very utilitarian. Even the lugs with the squared off ends, they speak of practicality. Very usable case. I think the fact that it's brushed all around says that the case itself isn't going to be susceptible to scratches in the same way that the case back is going to be. And then of course at 10.7 mils thick, this is this most slender watch that I now own. On the bezel, I love this knurling. Look at this, these rebates. I know there was a lot of discussion about those, but thank you guys for not opting for an ordinary Submariner type knurling. This is beautiful. I love the knurling. Then have a look at this bezel insert. It's a ceramic bezel insert. It's got BGW9 inlaid all over it. It's loomed. It shines really well, and it's brushed. I love the texture. Just really loving the texture on this bezel insert. As demonstrated earlier, the insert is aligned perfectly, nothing wrong with it. Really solid clicks, and I think it's a top class performance. This, I almost wanted to leave it for the movement, but it actually relates to the case. The crown screws really well. It's threaded nicely, pops. It's got a good lot of pop over there, and a little bit of pressure, and it finds its mark, screws back in. A really good case and bezel, and I'm going with a 13 out of 15 for case and bezel. Crystal and dial. I've actually purposefully looked for sunlight for this portion of the video because it's a flat piece of sapphire with AR coating, a matte, it's actually a textured dial. I really have to see if I can get in a bit closer on this. There we go. Can you see the texture? There we go. Catching the light nicely. It looks more pronounced in the close-up shots than it does in real life. I actually think it's a very practical thing, much like the brushing of the case, much like the brushing of the bezel. Decisions that were made for laboratory environments. Indexes or indices, not indexes, pardon me, they are not applied, they are painted on, but there's so much lume in there that they actually have a relief to them. And the same is true for the logo, the name of the watch, and the 200-meter marker. I love these hands. Baton hands, very easy to read. There's quite a difference between the minute and the hour hand, so it's easy to distinguish the one from the other. Can you see, I mean, in that light, just how legible this watch is. It really is a triumph of legibility. And the AR coating, great decision. Yeah, just have a look at that. I love it. The plain rehaut, the silver rehaut, just giving a bit of flash into that otherwise, I was going to say sterile environment, thinking of a laboratory. Crystal, dial, hands, I'm going to be giving them, out of a possible 15, I'm going with a 14 over there. Okay, now to the movement. I weight movement very heavily. I give it a possible 20. That's that's what I rate a movement out of. This is running one of the best, well, probably the best movement I've ever had in a watch that I've owned. It's the Miyota 9015. This movement was chosen purposefully for this watch because of how slender it is. It's paid off on a 10.5mm watch thickness. It beats at 28,800 beats per minute, or 8 ticks per second. A really smooth sweep on that second hand. 42-hour power reserve, plus 30 to minus 10 seconds per day. Great accuracy. Winds really smoothly. I mean, that it does. You can feel the quality in that. And it winds really smoothly. Let's look at the date switch over. I want to have a look and see how long this movement takes to switch over to the next day. So it's begun at 11 o'clock. The tension's winding up, and it flicks over just before midnight. So well set up. The watch is well set up. Great movement. If I was to say anything, the gearing's rather low on advancing the time. So this process is a little bit slow, but that's such a small thing. I really think this is an awesome movement. They've spent the money where it counts on this watch, and the movement is one of the places where it counts the most. So the movement is getting a 17.5 out of 20. For the lume, I'm going to insert a lume shot over here. The lume is BGW9. Gary explained that this is one of the weaker points on the watch. The feedback he's had is it's not as bright as people would like. I think it's plenty bright. It glows a beautiful ice blue. There is more lume on the hands and on the bezel than there is on the indices, and my suspicion is that the hands and the bezel will outrun the indices as time marches on. But it is good lume. It's not the most fantastic, but I really think it's a solid effort, and I'm going to be giving the lume a 7 out of 10. Right, value is, the watch costs $200 US. It's made by the Lugyou watch store, and they have been working very closely with Gary this year. They've rebranded their own in-house offering as the Chronos watch, and they offer sterling value at $200 US, which is about twice the price of your kind of garden variety watch on AliExpress. You're getting a fantastic watch over here. it's easy to get lost in the world of AliExpress and have our value equation calibrated by what's on offer there. But if I think about a trip down to my local watch store, and if I go through there and think of what I can pick up for $200, it blows the value out of the water on this watch. And so I think value is super strong, and I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. I'm going to close out with a wrist shot as I report on XFactor. This is a 38mm watch, and wow, that size is amazing. XFactor, it's a very, very subjective assessment on my behalf, but is this the kind of watch that I am going to remember? Is this the kind of watch that I will think 33 times about before giving it away? And I'm going to say yes. I've loved being a part of the process, just listening, watching, being excited about this, being able to order one of these watches. And I want to say this watch definitely does have XFactor. I wouldn't say it's top drawer, but I'm going to give this a very strong 8 out of 10 on the XFactor. So, what do you think about the Exciton? I think it's amazing. That is an incredible watch. On my weighted scoring, which I have amended today, it runs as follows: bracelet, possible 7.5, it scored 3.5. Buckle, possible 7.5, it scored 4. Caseback, possible 5, it scored a 2.5. Case and bezel, possible 15, it scored a very strong 13. Crystal and dial, possible 15, it scored a 14. Movement 20, it scored a 17.5. Lume 10, it scored a 7. Value possible 10, it scored a 9. XFactor possible 10, it scored an 8. So it's coming through the gates with a 78.5 score. I believe it's possibly the highest score I've had on any of my watches. I'm going to be using this rating on every one of my reviews moving forward. But thus far, the Exciton is the benchmark of the watches that I have tested. It's the one that has captured my imagination the most. Gary, JF Watches team, you've done an amazing job. Maxi at the Lugyou watch store, you guys are incredible, and you're bringing awesome value, awesome build quality, creative solutions to the table. So Gary wanted me to make a few things known for you, and here we go. I'm going to be reading a little. They're already working on the next JF watch. This is the Exciton Skin Diver. We don't know what the next one's going to be named. Most likely going to have a steel bracelet and will be different to this one. They will not be making any more of these. There were only 100. They're all gone. Sorry, too late for you. If you offer me $1,000 maybe we can think about it. But other than that, there will be a new version coming out soon. It's going to be crowdfunded, most likely going to be on Kickstarter. And if you are interested in getting your name on the list for the next JF watch, mail them on Excitonc, that's EXCITONC @gmail.com. They'll get you on the list. They'll let you know when the Kickstarter program launches, and you can be A for away. They are aware that the loom is not as strong as they wanted it to be. They asked initially for 15 layers of BGW9. They could only apply 8 layers because after that it began to crack, and so it is what it is going to be. I think if they want stronger loom, they're going to need to use applied indices, and that might just go against the grain of the entire watch. If you want to follow James, he is the designer of this watch. He's the gentleman who came up with the concept. He has an Instagram account. Sign up at JF_watches_99. And yeah, have a look and see what he's doing over there. Gary, get onto his channel. He's going to be giving away watch number 46 of 100 as part of his 12 watch giveaway, which is running right now. So get onto the channel and give him a plug. Want to shout out again to Maxi Lugyou watches on AliExpress. He makes the Chronos watch. Guys, go and spend some good Christmas money on what this man's putting out, because he's producing amazing quality. I want to say thanks to the guys of making us part of the family on this process. Happy birthday, Gary. It's a triumph. You've been awesome. And we'll see you in the next Watch Me Build It.